Caitlin Clark stuffs stat sheet, but furious Fever rally falls short versus lowly Mystics. Indianapolis, a furious fourth-quarter comeback, came up short as the Indiana Fever fell to the Washington Mystics, 89-84, in a camp day matinee Wednesday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The Fever were trailing by 21 points going into the fourth, but started the quarter on a 10-0 run. That run grew to a 29-11 spurt, putting the Fever, at one point, within 3 points of the Mystics. Insider: Fever follow best win of season with loss to Wnba's worst. How do they bounce back? Why more Fever lineup changes? A coach's decision, and we just gonna leave it at that. But a timely fadeaway from Ariel Atkins, who finished the game with 26 points, gave the Mystics 6-17. Enough breathing room, with a minute left to steal the win. Caitlin Clark stuffed the stat sheet with 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 3 blocks, and 5 made threes. The Fever, who were coming off a win over the Wnba's best team, Liberty, followed it up with a loss to one of the league's worst. Here are 3 observations. Turnovers set the tone for Fever. If the Fever, 9-14, wanted to create some lasting momentum going into the Olympic break, this game, against a Wnba cellar dweller, was pivotal. But Indiana couldn't take care of the ball. The Fever turned the ball over 8 times in the first quarter, leading to 24 shot attempts by the Mystics and just 12 for the Fever. Those turnovers came in multiple ways. Offensive fouls on both Katie Lou Samuelson and Kelsey Mitchell, ill-advised passes, and simply losing control of the ball. While the Fever got control in the second quarter, they still had 12 turnovers by halftime. The Mystics had 5. Indiana ended the game with 20 turnovers, the most since they committed 22, in an 89-77 loss to Seattle on June 27. Aaliyah Boston and Clark each had 5. The Mystics had 21 points off of those turnovers. Lexi Hull starts, then sits most of game. 2 games after Lexi Hull was a DENP. Coach's decision on July 2 against the Mystics. She was in the starting lineup against Washington on Wednesday afternoon. Hull was effective in the Fever's win over the league-leading New York Liberty on July 6, and Coach Christie sides ended up playing her 20 minutes, including the entire fourth quarter when the Fever fought back from a near double-digit deficit. Hull went 2 for 3 from the field for 6 points, along with 2 rebounds, for a +/ of 6 in the 5-point victory. Lexi Hull starts, then sits most of game. 2 games after Lexi Hull was a DENP. Coach's decision on July 2 against the Mystics. She was in the starting lineup against Washington on Wednesday afternoon. Hull was effective in the Fever's win over the league-leading New York Liberty on July 6, and Coach Christie sides ended up playing her 20 minutes, including the entire fourth quarter when the Fever fought back from a near double-digit deficit. Hull went 2 for 3 from the field for 6 points, along with 2 rebounds, for a +/ of 6 in the 5-point victory. Aaliyah Boston limited with foul trouble. The 4:25 mark of the third quarter was pivotal for both Fever forward Aaliyah Boston and Mystics forward Stephanie Dawson. Officials called a defensive foul on Dawson as Boston was going in for a layup, and that would have been Dawson's 4th. But the Mystics challenged the call as Boston elbowed Dawson in the face while going for the shot. After the officials reviewed the call, the Fever's faces said it all. It was a successful challenge, and what was going to be an and one became a negated basket, and more importantly, Boston's 5th foul at a crucial junction. Boston had been in foul trouble all game. She picked up 3 fouls in about 10 minutes in the first half, forcing her to sit for the rest of the half. Then, With her fifth foul in just 25 minutes of game time and 16 on the court, Boston was forced to sit until deep into the fourth quarter. It was a big adjustment for the Fever team, as their offense usually runs through Boston. With the second-year center off the floor for the rest of the third, Indiana's deficit went from 14 points to 21 by the end of the quarter. Boston returned to the game with 4:45 left in the fourth quarter and immediately made a layup, then grabbed a rebound on the next possession. She, along with backup Damaris Dantas, helped the Fever go on a 25-9 run throughout the quarter, nearly giving them a 21-point comeback victory. How many points did Caitlin Clark score? The Fever rookie had her fourth straight points, assists double-double, with 29 points and 13 assists. She added on 5 rebounds, as well as 5 steals and 3 blocks. She'd also had 5 turnovers.